Hello and welcome to the August 20th Arts and Culture Commission meeting. We can go ahead and get roll call started.
Roll call, Commissioners Yank.
You guys are muted, so there.
Okay. Commissioner Vyar.
Here. Hello and welcome to the August 20th Arts and Culture Commission meeting.
Please.
And get roll call started. Roll call, Commissioners Yank.
If we can mute any background.
Please mute until you have to speak.
Those are muted there. Commissioner Vyar.
Okay. Commissioner Vidor.
Please. Yes, meeting.
Okay. Vice Chair Tufankian is unavailable today, and Chairperson Zadorian.
Present.
Okay. Report of recorder regarding posting the agenda. The agenda of the August 2020 regular meeting was posted on August 17th, 2020 on the bulletin board outside of City Hall. Agenda item 2, consent items A, approval of the regular minutes from July 16, 2020.
Okay. Do we have any changes or comments? If not, can I please get a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can I get a second, please?
This is Commissioner Vyar. I second.
Thank you.
Roll call. Commissioners Yank.
Aye.
Vyar.
Yes.
Vidor.
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes.
Consent item 2B, approval of the special meeting minutes of August 5th, 2020. Wow.
For the special meeting of the Arts and Culture Artist Review and Selection Committee.
Yes, this is the special meeting minutes from August 5th, 2020.
Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve.
Thank you, Arlene. And do I have a second?
I wasn't present, so I'm going to abstain from this one.
Okay. As long as you read the minutes, but if you feel like you need to abstain, that is fine. Jane, would you be able to second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you.
Roll call, Commissioner Yank will abstain. Commissioner Vyar?
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor?
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes.
Agenda item 3, introductions and presentations, library arts and culture events presented by Jennifer Fukutomi Jones, Arts and Culture Administrator. Chairperson Zadorian, before we jump in, do you want to introduce our new commissioner?
So we have some great news. We have a new commissioner on board, which we're very excited about, Ms. Sue Bell Yank. I would like to welcome you. We can go ahead and give our comments later down the line in the commissioner and staff comments, but I want to go ahead and introduce you and welcome you on board, and I'm very much looking forward. I hope your first meeting is very easy and short and sweet, so we can go ahead and move forward until, if you did want to make a statement, if not, you can always wait until commissioner comments to go ahead and say anything you would like. Did you want to speak now or later?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. I'm just very honored to be here.
Thank you so much. Okay, we can go ahead and move forward.
I will jump into the library report. Okay. So first up, we have the Brand Associates in partnership with the Brand Library and Arts Center is pleased to announce the opening of Brand 48 annual National Juried Exhibition of Works on Paper on view from September 12th through October 30th, 2020. The exhibition includes 108 works of art selected by juror Dan McCleary from over 900 national submissions. The exhibition will be presented entirely online for the first year in the exhibition's history due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It will be navigable via a 3D gallery, allowing the diverse works to be in conversation with one another. A printed catalog will also accompany the exhibition. The exhibition will have a live virtual opening on September 12th, 2020 at 2 p.m. in addition to other virtual programming throughout its run. Please visit associatesofbrand.org for more information about the virtual opening and future events. The works on paper featured in Brand 48 have an astounding range and intimacy on the page and in the virtual space. Prizes totaling $4,700 will be awarded to 6 works in the show. The annual National Juried Exhibition of Works on Paper has been organized and sponsored by the Brand Associates since 1971 in cooperation with the City of Glendale Library Arts and Culture Department. It is one of the region's most prestigious juried shows, drawing entries from across the country. For more information, visit brandlibrary.org. Next, we have the online book clubs and book kits for adults. So 328 Glendale online book club members are currently reading All Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by investigative journalist Michelle McNamara. The book is free to download and will have a unlimited number of copies for Glendale Library Arts and Culture cardholders. In this totally online community, readers can connect with their fellow community members through the enjoyment of reading and discussing books. Future book topics will include lifelong learning, social issues, literature, psychology, and other user-submitted ideas. In addition to the online book club, GLAC staff has also created book kits for adults, which provide great templates for starting your own book club. For more information on the book club and book kits for adults, please visit the links on the screen. The GLAC Teen Services staff has recently launched the Teen Glendale Empowerment Now Talks, the Gen Talks, a monthly video talk show that focuses on empowering youth in Glendale. This teen-centered video podcast, begins with a conversation with Mike Whitehead, Teen Services Librarian. Staff will interview speakers from within the city and community in future episodes. And in addition to this, a new online book club for teens begins on August 26th with the popular graphic novel Runaways Volume 1, Pride and Joy, written by Brian K. Vaughan, with artwork by Adrian Alfona. The graphic novel is for regular readers of comics and/or graphic novels, or teens who haven't read a story with accompanying pictures since they were small. For more information on the Teen Gen Talks and Teen Book Club, please visit the links on the screen. And finally, we have the GLAC staff have launched Curbside Service Premium this month. Customers will be able to opt in to receive items curated based on their curbside pickup orders. Librarians will help customers expand their horizons and get more connected to our collections, and customers will benefit from the professional knowledge of the librarian and the skill of finding relevant items. Please go to the website listed below for directions on how to reserve your hold for curbside pickup service. Staff will continue to provide curbside pickup service at Central Library Wednesday through Saturday. Staff will also be available to answer questions Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 818-548-2021 or via email at libraryinfo@glendaleca.gov. That is the library report.
Okay. Then we can go ahead and move forward to oral communications.
Yes. Agenda item 4, oral communications. Do we have anyone on the line?
We do have someone, but that is for a action item, and so I don't believe we have any oral communications I'm sorry. We might have one call. We can just wait one moment. Okay. Sorry, just one moment while we get the name. Okay, we have one oral communication thus far for Blake Dellinger. Hi, is this Blake?
Hi, this is Blake.
Welcome, Blake.
Thank you, from Assemblymember Laura Friedman's office. It's good to be here virtually.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to briefly present. I was here last year requesting the involvement of the commission with the 2019 AV43 photography competition. And I'd just like to thank everybody for the support and the help promoting it last year. It was a great success. And I'm coming to you today to announce that we will be holding the photography competition again this year, but with obviously some due changes because of the pandemic. So a little bit, very briefly, about what we plan to change. We're going to be holding the competition later in the year than we normally do. We plan to open and start accepting photographs online starting October 1st through November 13th. And it'll be an online submission process outlined in our official government website. The selected photographs are going to be displayed on an online gallery. So the advantage of this is we actually have a lot more photographers and a lot more people from our community and throughout the 43rd Assembly District that can show their work. So we're excited about that. But what I'm coming to you here today about is to see, obviously we used to hold we've done it I think 2 or 3 times now. We've had a gallery event at the Adams Hill Mini Park gas station on just one night where we show the quote-unquote winning photographs. These are the top scored photographs. This year, we're obviously not going to be planning an event in person, but we are thinking that we could still use that space or a space like it to hold a sort of public art exhibit in the month of December. We're open to what the amount of time that could be displayed, whether it's a week, whether it's 2 weeks. I don't know currently what's on the schedule. But I just thought I'd, re-present again today and say we would like to work with the Arts and Culture Commission again on this event and in helping promote it, specifically help in assistance securing the Adams Hill Mini Park gas station or a similar public art venue for the December arts display. And then if it's possible, official sponsorship of the event. We're not requesting any monetary contributions. We can handle that on our own, but just simply for promotional purposes. So we could say this is a joint event hosted by the City of Glendale and the Office of Assembly Member Laura Friedman. So I'd just like to thank you all very much for what you're doing. This is not an easy time to do anything, and thank you for continuing to uplift our community through the arts. Okay. As a last point, I will be submitting a letter on behalf of Assembly Member Friedman to the Commission and staff at Glendale outlining these requests.
Thank you so much for calling in, Blake. I don't know about the rest of my commissioners, but I think we would be very happy to help and support with sponsorship and, of course, marketing and kind of getting some information out about it, maybe even posting it on our website and through the Library Arts and Culture. It's a great event, and I'm very happy to help in that. So I think we would love that. We'll wait on your letter.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, we have another oral communication on the line. Line 3 is going to be Miss Nina Crow. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Hello, Chair Zadorian and the Arts and Culture Commissioners and staff. I wanted to formally invite you to celebrate the Alex Theater's 95th birthday celebration. You already know we'll be live streaming a 12-hour telethon on September 5th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But I just wanted to share the information again with you and personally invite you to tune in. And more than a telethon, I think that what we hope it will be is just a giant love letter to the Alex Theater. And we'll be highlighting performances, activities, a backstage tour, interviews, and birthday wishes from the entire city and the community. And I did also want to extend a special thank you to the Mayor and City of Glendale City Council members who are a part of the honorary committee. Our goal is to raise $95,000. And throughout the event, in addition to fundraising, we'll be highlighting the importance of arts to the community, as well as the important place that the Alex Theater has in the city's landscape. And more information can be found on alextheaterbirthday.org, including where to catch the streaming. And I also wanted to thank you, commissioners, for sending in your birthday greetings, and they'll be a very important part of the celebration. So thank you so much for letting me share this invitation with you, and I hope that you'll tune in.
Okay, thank you so much. We very much look forward to it, to watching and taking part. Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I believe that is all for our oral communications. We can go ahead and move forward to our action items.
Agenda item 5, action items. A, report on the Art Happens Anywhere AHA program additional funding allocation. Motion to approve additional funding for the Art Happens Anywhere AHA program in an amount not to exceed $80,000 from the 2019-2020 work plan. So as we discussed at our last meeting on July 16th, during the regular Arts and Culture Commission meeting, the Commission approved an additional $30,000 to be allocated to the Art Happens Anywhere program for a new total allocation of $130,000. During this meeting, the Commission also approved 3 proposals from the second round of applications for a total allocation of $41,900 with a total overall allocation of $119,117 out of $130,000. The motion is to allocate additional funds for the Art Happens Anywhere program in an amount not to exceed $80,000.
Okay. Did we have a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion. This is Arlene. I assume there's no discussion before we make the motion. Should I wait, or I'm ready to make a motion to approve?
Well, if we did have any comments, please go ahead and make some. If not, we can go ahead and move forward with the motion. I thought this was kind of straightforward. It's just to, have enough funds to accept more applications. And so if we don't have any discussion about the item, we can go ahead and move forward. But please, if anybody did have anything to state.
I will just interject the new total so that the commissioners know would be $100,000
Okay.
if the new allocation is proceeded to be approved.
Okay. So I'll make a motion for the Arts and Culture Commission to approve additional funding for Art Happens Anywhere in an amount not to exceed $80,000, and this is from the 2019-2020 work plan. And so the total budgeted amount to date then becomes I believe 210,000. Oh my God, I have COVID brain. $210,000 as outlined in the report.
Beautiful. Do we have a second?
I'll go ahead and second that.
Thank you, Sue.
This is Commissioner Yang.
I will do a roll call. Commissioners Yank,
Yes.
Commissioner Bayar,
Yes.
Commissioner Vidor,
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes.
Great. Agenda item 5B, report on the Art Happens Anywhere AHA third round of applications. Motion to approve funding artist proposals from the third round of applications for the Art Happens Anywhere AHA program, and budget ranges not to from $3,000 to $15,000 from the 2019-20 work plan. And I believe we have the third round finalist on the line.
Yes. So we have Addie Renteria on the line.
Hello.
Hi, Addie. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you to the Arts and Culture Commission for having us on this call. I have Erin Stone with me. She's also the co-founder and co-director of 1111, as well as David Howe. He's part of Light Writers, the artist that came up with the concept for our proposed project. Just wanted to say we're really excited about this opportunity, and I just wanted to mention that the Lightwave installation is we're really excited about it because not only is a way for have active community participation while it's being socially distanced, but it's also a great opportunity to bring some interactive technological and light art installation into Glendale. So I'm opening up the floor for any questions that the Arts and Culture Commissioners may have. I can answer any questions regarding logistics and permits and just how the installation is going to be installed. And then if you guys have any questions in regards to the concept or the actual installation, the artist David Howe can address that. Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is Commissioner Yang. I'm curious what the community engagement portion of this art piece is. You had mentioned that.
You're talking about like the actual, like how we're planning on engaging the community, or how the installation is going to connect with people?
I think either.
Well, around the installation, there's going to be social marketing and signage around the installation, basically instructing people on how to interact with the installation with clear instructions. And as far as how people, the whole concept behind the idea of the piece is that people will be stepping on motion censored paths that are going to light up the installation. And the more people that are stepping on the path, like the more lights are going to be coming on. So the whole objective, the point is to have people collaborating in unison to activate the lights of the installation while being socially distanced.
Thank you.
So actually, Addie, I know that our arts administrator, Jennifer, actually sent you some questions that we wanted answered. At least the selection committee had several questions. If you could please answer those and kind of explain to us so we have a better picture of what we're looking at.
Addie, if you can give us some detail in regards to where you envisioned the piece. This is what we talked about during our conference call, the location of where you were proposing this piece, the signage, the budget. It would be great so the commissioners have an understanding of what the whole project looks like.
Yeah, so after we connected with Jennifer, we did a couple of more, we actually had a second site scouting visit in Glendale, and we first identified Artsac as one of the ideal locations, but we've also identified the Pastel right in front of the Mona Museum as another possible location. And I feel like both locations pose similar opportunities and, possible challenges that are very similar. I think the foot traffic on the Paseo at the Mona Museum is a little higher than the one on Artsac. So we both, Erin and I both feel that we would want to leave it up to the commission to decide which location out of these two would be ideal for the installation, because they're both very similar.
When you say
Yeah,
Mona,
with
are you,
same advantages and disadvantages.
sorry to cut you off. When you say Mona, are you referring to the little alleyway that's right beside it, or are you talking about right in front of it on Brand Boulevard?
We're talking about the little passageway that leads into the parking lot of Central Park.
Okay, so the side alleyway. Okay. Did any of the commissioners have any comments to make in regards to what location they would prefer?
Well, I would, this is Arlene Vidor. I would prefer whichever is if we can quantify it, whichever appears to be the most traffic and the most likely place to be seen by the most number of people. And then my question would be, is there any chance during the run of this, which I also want to know how long the thing is going to be on display, is there any chance of moving it from one location to another? So it's a two-part question.
So I'll answer the first part of your question. I feel like based on visiting the sites, we feel that there's a lot more foot traffic along Grand Boulevard, which the installation would be visible from. And then I also wanted to mention that we had a very kind of informal conversation with the museum, Neon Art, and we understand that they've also are receiving an AHA grant, and so they were very receptive to us working together to, make something just like on the collaboration of cross promotion, or like I said, the conversation is on a very initial stage, and we don't know what the collaboration looks like, but it's very favorable that the Lori from the Museum of Neon Art was really excited about this prospect. So I feel like that in itself is an advantage that we should probably consider seriously.
So my only reservation is that, from what I know, that is actually private land owned by Caruso. I don't know if that's public Glendale property, and so we would have to actually have permission from Caruso and Associates in order to possibly display. I'm not sure how Mona has done it, so we'd probably have to find out about that first. Of course, I do agree that Brand does have better traffic, but maybe it would be better if it did turn out that it's private property to have it in a public area, just because it would kind of it would look as if that it was funded and provided by Caruso instead of Glendale Arts and Culture Commission, which has happened in the past because they have funded lots of art, but it hasn't been Glendale Arts and Culture related. So that's just my only reservation, or else I would love that area and location. If not, Artsakh also works great for me. So maybe you can go ahead and work on this with Jennifer and and decide on that location once we have more specifics. Did any of the other commissioners have any other questions or comments to make in regards to this piece?
Commissioner, the second question that I had about relocating it from one place to another.
Yes.
Just to interject quickly, Addie, if you can give an idea of how long you anticipated the structure to be up, and then I think what Commissioner Vidor is alluding to is if there's a possibility to move it, what would it take to move it? These were the questions that we discussed in our conference call.
Right. Yeah, so just based on initial research on hard costs that we're looking at, the installation would probably be up for no more than 4 weeks. And this is just based on preliminary research that we've done on trust rental costs. As far as having it travel to different locations, I feel like we're really excited, first of all, that you guys are considering this. And second, I feel like it's all kind of contingent upon additional funding. I don't think that this initial request that we made to make this happen would cover costs for having it travel to other locations. But if there is excitement around the installation and then further consideration to fund it to travel to other locations, it's doable for sure. And we actually looked at a third location that Jennifer recommended for us to look at, which is at 101 North Brand. There's a rotunda that actually looks like a very ideal location as well. It's just that the rigging for the lights would be a lot different than we were planning on using, the palm trees if that would be possible. But if we're having to travel to other locations, we think it might be best to consider having a structure that's kind of like a pop-up structure. But also consider the possibility of having it as a permanent installation. I noticed that on that 101 North Brand building, they actually have a permanent light interactive installation there as well. And again, as Arlene, you mentioned, I think this property is actually private property, so we would have to be in contact with them and see if this is something that they would be interested in.
Yeah. That actually is a great location as well.
Erin wants to speak really quick.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to interject quickly and say, depending on what locations are chosen and how many different locations are chosen for this installation to travel to, it ultimately may end up being more cost effective to look at it as a permanent structure, or a semi-permanent structure that then has a lifespan of 3 years or 5 years or whatever. It just may end up being more cost effective that way. But it's, as Addie mentioned, it's all really exciting to think about it having a lifespan past the 4 weeks. But just to reiterate, that would obviously be very contingent on what funds are available to support that. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know how my other commissioners feel, but I would possibly be interested in a semi-permanent piece longer than 4 weeks. And if we were to do that, then we wouldn't need to move it around. We would just put in one location and keep it there for at least a year to 3 years. 3 years maximum. I wouldn't pass that number. So maybe we can decide. I know that right now the funding is only for a temporary piece, and it's the funding is only up to $15,000. So maybe we can discuss this further in detail later. And for right now, we can approve it for the proposed budget of $15,000 for the current. And maybe we can go back and switch around some details and bring it back if we did want to make it semi-permanent, and you guys can send in a budget of what that would look like. If you are saying it's cost efficient, maybe that's something we should take into consideration. How do my fellow commissioners feel?
Yeah, I think that if we look at this first initial funding as kind of a test and a pilot installation of what it could possibly look like as a semi-permanent installation, then we can absolutely do like a more in-depth study of what it would look like and what it would cost to do a semi-permanent installation.
Of course. It would also be a little bit more difficult because we would have to take this, I believe, to either design review or to council, because this would be something that's more permanent, and therefore
Right.
it would go to them. But please, Commissioners Yank, Vidor, Vyar, do you have any questions or comments in regards to this?
Could you, Savannah, Commissioner Chair Zadorian, could you call on us so that we
Yes.
don't talk?
So let's
to
go
each
ahead
other?
and start. The order's kind of switched around, but let's just start with Commissioner Yank. You can begin.
Yeah, my main concern is just that the budget for maintenance would be taken into account for a semi-permanent piece. So I would want to see what that would look like over the course of a year or 3 years. If the piece were to break down or stop working, what would that additional cost be to maintain it?
Yes, agreed.
Or if it gets graffitied or something, along those lines.
Okay. Commissioner Vyar?
Yes, I was just wondering also about if there are any security concerns with it. If it requires some kind of vigilance or fencing or anything like that.
Okay.
But I would support keeping it up longer. I think it's beautiful.
Okay. And then Commissioner Vidor?
Yes, Commissioner Yank's points are well taken. I just, in general, would like to see it stay up as long as possible, or potentially even be a semi-permanent piece, but some of these details have to be worked out. So perhaps we can go ahead with the selection, Jennifer helping them decide which location to install on, and then we can go further with this. I don't want to delay the installation, but it would be good to research what it would take to go semi-permanent, because this is something we're going to be dealing with in the coming months, and it's important to understand it. So let's dig into that and perhaps bring it back next week for a report and a discussion.
Next month.
Next month, sorry.
So I agree with all my fellow commissioners. I do want to see a budget with a little bit more detail as to maintenance, security. If it were to move around, even if it was a year or 3 years, if it were to move around in that 3-year span, if it was to remain in one location, and please include any kind of information on how it would be connected to the electricity. Does it have any solar panel to make it a little bit more sustainable? Just a few different options like this, and please submit this to Jennifer. Jennifer will be in contact with you. What I'm just trying to figure out is, do we vote on this as of right now with the contingency that we want it to come back to decide later if we want to keep it at 15,000 and keep it for the max 4 weeks and possibly 2-3 locations, or do we want to make it the 1 to 3 year piece?
What I would recommend, and Mr. Grant, you can also interject as well, what I would recommend is to approve this proposal for the AHA program.
Okay.
As it is a temporary art display. So if this goes well and the commissioners are pleased with how it is, 1111 can come back and propose the additional 1 to 3 year proposal.
Okay. So it's kind of like a test run. We can see how it goes, put it in a different location, then we can figure out the details later. So I do agree with that. If we do have a motion to approve this as an AHA, part of the AHA program, to approve this proposal for a proposed budget of 15,000, do we have a motion?
Actually,
This is Commissioner Byer. I propose that we approve the Lightwaves proposal for the third round of the AHA program. And is that enough of the motion, or do you need more?
One moment. I think Jennifer wants to make a comment.
yeah, well, we can release Addie and Aaron from the conversation because we have 2 more
before we
proposals
vote.
to discuss for the motion.
Oh, are we going to vote all together? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much for calling in. We will go ahead and take the vote after we've discussed all the proposals. I'm sorry about that. We were jumping ahead. We were very excited. So thank you very much for answering all of our questions. We look forward to working together.
Likewise. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you. Have a great day. Okay.
We have 2 proposals from the last meeting.
Yes.
One of them was 5,000 and more from Connie Lane. This was the temporary installation with the folding of the 5,000 JOS papers to represent the losses of the COVID-19 as a tribute to the California crisis. This was a proposal that was also up for discussion for potential funding in this conversation. And we also have the Drive-Through Arts Festival from the Museum of Neon Art. That was a Drive-Through Arts Festival, car-centered public arts festival that would have bite-sized cultural arts experiences. So those two are also up for discussion for funding.
So I think we can go by each commissioner. If you have any comments or questions, if you did want to go ahead and move forward. Commissioner Yank, so what we had done was last time we had no longer had funds for more proposals, so we said we'll hold off until the next round, we'll add more money, and then we can go ahead and accept these proposals. So these are the two that we had moved to this month. So proposal number 2, they were wanting to do it inside somewhere, which as of right now, we don't know when that will be. So actually, this is one of the ones that we discussed at the selection committee between myself and Commissioner Vidor, that maybe this one we will need to hold off because we cannot have people going into the library and different locations to see things. And the second one, which was the cars drive-through, we love this one, and we thought this is great because it is a drive-through arts festival, which we are capable of having during COVID and people kind of being, home and socially distanced. So with that, we can go ahead and go through each commissioner. If you have any comments, concerns, if there's one you did want to vote for, if you wanted to vote on both. And then at the end, we will go ahead and do all 3 at once. And if we want to include one or not include one, we can go ahead and state that. So Commissioner Yank?
May I, Chair Zadorian?
Yes.
Hi, Director Gary Schaefer, Library Arts and Culture. Just wanted to propose for proposal number 2 that this could be in the main area of the Central Library. Though the library is closed, people would be able to view it from the windows into the main part of the Central Library if the Commission wanted to vote for funding this. I just feel it's important to acknowledge the pandemic. This was one of the few pieces that actually looked at that, and I thought it also had some very interesting cultural ties to our Chinese community here in Glendale. So just wanted to offer the Central Library as a potential space for this exhibition or this proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
One thing that I will mention, thank you, Dr. Schaefer, is that specifically for this temporary art installation, the artists wanted community engagement, so they proposed having community members help with folding the JOS papers. The artist was also really interested in having people walk through the JOS papers as they hang, so it would be a very community engagement or engaging installation. So that's one thing that we would have to think about if it were to be in Central Library, and we would not be able to have people engage. But that's a conversation that I can follow up with the artist and clarify.
Thank you.
But also, the presumption is at some point the Central Library will be reopened, and we would be, in effect, honoring the people that had passed during the pandemic once we were able to come in, so it could stay in place and, for the first few months, the library's reopened.
Do we have a projection of when that will be?
I'm sorry, I left my crystal ball at home.
I mean, will it be in 2020? Most likely 2021. So we're talking several months from now and a year from now.
Again, I have no idea when we'll be able to get back in the library. The hope was we would already be back in the library at this point, but I think people could see it from the outside of the library, and then we would keep it in place once the library's open and honor the folks that have perished in the pandemic through this piece, which was the artist's intent. So again, up to the commission whether you want to choose to fund it or not. I'm just offering a space and a place for it to go.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
Commissioner Yank?
For me, I think the drive-through art festival is an easy yes for me. This one, I think, is a beautiful project. I think it does have significant challenges because of the current pandemic situation, and I would be interested in seeing if the artist might be interested in modifying their proposal in some shape, or Jennifer could speak with them about ways to make this community engaged in a socially distant way. Like, is there a way to have a mail art component, you know, where the Jock papers are mailed to people's homes and then, you know, made and then returned, just off the top of my head, but I think there's many different avenues through which to make it the full kind of artist vision that they have. And I would hate to, at this time, have to cut off part of that vision because of our current restrictions. So that would be my one hesitation about this one, and maybe a recommendation to do a little bit more back and forth with the artist about how this could be resolved.
Agreed. Thank you. Commissioner Vire?
Excuse me. Well, I was thinking that maybe we could consider it sort of the way we're considering the proposal we just heard, the lights, that we could initially approve this as part of the AHA program, and have it, as Director Schaefer said, on display that could be seen through the windows of the library, but without compromising the actual engagement component that the artist. It seems important to the artist that people can walk through it and actually physically engage with it. Maybe we relook at that when we know more about when that would be possible, and extend it, as Director Schaefer had proposed. He would have a continuing space for it. So the space would be available if we chose to continue to fund it after the AHA funds.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Vidor?
Yeah, I'm also giving a yes to the Mona drive-through, and for the 5,000 and more, I think we have a couple choices to make, but immediate funding and launching of this probably isn't on the menu right now. I like Commissioner Yank's suggestion. The mailing thing obviously is something we'd considered. That would maybe be a long way off, but that's an option. Another option that may be more immediate is if there is a space. I know there was discussion recently at council about the ArtSoc empty spaces, and maybe there is the possibility of using one of those empty storefronts to put this project in. I don't know if it would show well in those spaces, but you know, that's another idea. Nevertheless, I'm not sure I would jump into funding it right at this moment.
Okay, thank you. So I do agree. I will go ahead and move forward with proposal number 3 for Mona's Drive-Through Festival. For proposal number 2, I agree that this is something that we needed. It was probably one of the only proposals that had anything to do with kind of COVID and as a memorial tribute to those that we've lost. However, I don't see it being displayed at the library with the library closed. So several options would be either the Adams Square Mini Park gas station, because that is a fully glass encased space where somebody walking by could see from far away and approach, or the ArtSoc storefronts, which I love that concept and idea. And so maybe those are the two options we can decide on, and maybe find out if they're available, either one. I know that Adams Square Mini Park, we already have programs. If there's some sort of a time span where there isn't anything being displayed, we can use that time. And if not, maybe the ArtSoc storefronts, which we'll have to talk to economic development about. My only problem with the community engagement, I love the concept of mailing. However, I do think that she would have to up the budget, because you're thinking about stamps. Obviously, we'd be supporting the Postal Service, which they are in need of right now. However, that's a lot of stamps. And so maybe it would be better if we found a way for someone to come pick it up, we drop it off, some sort of community engagement of people who are passing through ArtSoc to see it and do it and kind of throw it in a box. And so by the end of the month, there's a big kind of like trash bin, or not a trash bin, but a bin full of these joss papers. So some kind of concept like that, something we can talk to the arts about. Jennifer, please chime in.
Sure. I did talk to the artists about those two exact locations, the Adams Community Park gas station and the Artsock storefronts. The artist wasn't thrilled about that idea, mainly because it was intended to be an engaging piece. She really envisioned people walking through the joss papers and engaging with it. So I can go back to the artist and see if that's an option. I can also return, follow up with the artist and see if there's an alternate way in which to move forward this community engagement aspect.
So I agree. So regardless, then the library's out of the picture. Maybe if we have it where with a mask on, you have to have a mask is required to enter, and maybe that storefront has the door open during business hours throughout the day, and people can interact. They can walk through the room, and there's only maybe 1 or 2 people allowed at a time. Maybe something along those lines might be good.
So I can take, we're gonna table this one just for clarity. I'll follow up with the artist
And then
and then
come
bring it back maybe to the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
So then I guess we are all on board to move forward with the first and third proposals. So then we can go ahead and make the motion.
I believe we had Commissioner Vire made the motion, but I will
Yes.
just say that into the record that it would be the Light Waves proposal, which is an amount of $15,000, and the Drive Through Arts Festival, which is an amount of $15,000, so a total of $30,000 for this round. And then it would bring the total that we currently have to 117,000 out of the 100,000. So do we have a second?
Second.
That is Commissioner Vidor.
I will do roll call. Commissioners Yank,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item 5C, report on the 22 East Concert Series. Motion to approve the cancellation of the 22 East Concert Series for October 2020. As we had discussed previously regarding the Brand Library Concert Series, due to COVID-19 and the global pandemic, several performing arts theaters, including Hollywood Bowl, Ford Theaters, Independent Shakespeare Company, Levitt Pavilions, have all canceled their summer seasons. And due to the continuing effects of COVID-19, staff recommends canceling the 22 East Concert Series originally slated for October 2020.
Okay. We can go ahead and have a discussion if that is necessary. Commissioner Yank, did you have any comments?
I was just curious if you had explored the possibility of having an online offering rather than an in-person, or if that would not be feasible.
So I think we kind of decided that we had, for AHA, approved multiple online series, kind of Zoom concerts. And so we didn't want to do that again. Instead, we would either hold off until it's possible and have some sort of socially distanced event. But I think we were kind of over the idea of online because there's so many that we have voted on so far. So they'll be coming, but it won't be 222 East, unfortunately.
Understood.
It's a great question. Commissioner Vire, did you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Vidor?
No comments.
Thank you. I don't have any either, so we can go ahead and make the motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the commission should go ahead and approve the cancellation of the current planned 222 East Concert Series, which I believe was a cost of $15,000, which can now be deferred to another project to be determined.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, can we do, it still shows.
It still shows?
Yeah.
Okay, new technology. I thought I lost everyone for a second. Sorry there.
It's okay. We're on roll call right now.
We're okay. Thank you. Roll call. Commissioner Yank,
Yes.
Bayar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes.
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes.
Great. Agenda item 5D, report on the Museum of Neon Art Arts check-in gatherings. Motion to appoint a representative from the commission for the Mona Arts check-in gatherings. This was originally happened on May 21st. The commission appointed Commissioner Oshagan to be a commission representative for the arts gathering check-ins, and then due to his resignation on June 18th, staff recommends that the Arts and Culture Commission decide upon one representative from the commission to attend these arts check-in gatherings?
So we can go ahead and if anyone wants to recommend themselves, but I do know that Commissioner Vidor has asked to be appointed. She did show interest, and if anybody else did want to take this, we can have a discussion. If not, I do recommend appointing Commissioner Vidor to the Mona Arts Check-in Gathering.
I am happy to share I don't want to hog this thing because it is a very interesting meeting that's taking place with Mona and the arts community. So I'd be happy to rotate with someone else also. Caroline Tufenkian is also in the meeting, but she's I believe attending as I don't know if she attends regularly. But
She's a representative of her museum gallery.
As a representative of her gallery.
So we can't have more than two present. However, if Commissioner Villar or Commissioner Yank, if either of you did want to and you have interest in joining, please voice your opinions now. If not, then I would like to make, I can't make a motion, I'm sorry. If anyone else would like to make a motion, I did make a recommendation for Commissioner Vidor. If anyone else would like to motion to appoint Commissioner Vidor as a representative from the commission.
This is Jane. I move to appoint Commissioner Vidor as representative from the commission for the Mona Arts Check-in Gatherings.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
All Commissioners Yank,
Yes.
Villar,
Yes.
Vidor,
Yes?
Chairperson Zadorian.
Yes. Congratulations.
And I will report back on these meetings when I do attend. I'll report to the commission.
We trust you to represent us well.
Great. Agenda item 6, discussion items. A, 2019-20 work plan progress updates. So I have, for A, citywide arts, we have here. I wanted to provide an update on the Art Happens Anywhere funded proposals. So as I mentioned in our update email, 10 projects have officially been funded. 4 of them are ready to launch. The first that has been officially launched is With Love from LA by Mark DeClive Lowe. He had a wonderful write-up, an article in the LA Magazine, which is on the screen here, and I will also send it out to the commissioners. But he has launched his series. There was an event on August 12th and August 19th, and I will also send those out to the commissioners. But we are very excited to be working with Mark, and he's been doing a fantastic job on the series. Next up, we have 365 Days of Voters by Deborah Aschheim from August 20 to November 2020, and this proposal was specifically in alignment with the upcoming election and voter engagement. So we highly recommend commissioners or anyone who's interested in being drawn and part of this project to contact Deborah. You can email her. Her contact information is on the screen, and you can be today's voter and highlight it as part of this project. And you can find more information on the screen above. Next up, we have Reflections by Ashton Phillips. We had a great conversation with the park staff in regards to this installation at Central Park, which is going to be slated to be installed from September 8th to January 15th. So we're very excited that Ashton's going to be working on this, and it'll be going up pretty soon. And then the fourth proposal that's ready for launch is I'm a Small Business Glendale by Eric Axine, and he is currently working on photographing all these business owners and then working on the website that will have the extraction and the Zoom information that he was very excited about in regards to seeing the actual details of the small businesses and stores. So that will be launching sometime in November, and we'll make sure to keep the commission apprised of when that happens. And then the last update that we have is this was a second round proposal, the Verdugo Skate Park mural by Aldo Chacon. When we've had several conversations with the artist and with park staff, we were discussing the different designs for this skate park mural, and staff, specifically park staff, was concerned about the painting inside the actual bowls of the skate park due to the traction that it would cause and potential safety concerns that it would have for skaters in the park. So staff felt it was best to move forward with painting of the rails, which you see as this design that Aldo has updated and presented to staff. We wanted to share with commission that this was the design that staff had been most excited about to move forward with. So that is the update for the Art Happens Anywhere funded proposals.
And Jennifer, just for clarification, it was park staff, the people that work at the park, that chose that. We thought it was really important as they live with it day in, day out. So,
That's correct.
and it's really beautiful.
Yes. And it's called California Love. So next up, the Beyond the Box Mural Art Program Call for Artists was released on August 10th, 2020. The application closes on Friday, September 18th at 5 p.m. You can find more, we're also going to paint the actual boxes on the weekend of October 16th through the 18th, and you can find more information on our website at glendareartsandculture.org/beyondthebox. So we highly encourage all muralists to apply for this opportunity. Last up for citywide arts, we received a total of 7 applications for the RFP for the art consultant, and that closed on July 31st. We did find out that one of the applications was deemed as incomplete, so we have 6 applications total that staff will be reviewing internally. And our goal is to invite the top finalists to the September 17th meeting so that they can do a presentation to the commission on their proposals for the art consultant. And then last up, we have the neighborhood arts. We had a fantastic exhibit that's closing, unfortunately, at the Adams Community Park gas station this Friday, Bioluminescence Wonderment by Jen Swain. Starting on August 24th, we're going to have a new installation, Spindles Hers, that's going to run from August 24th to October 2nd. And that is the work plan progress update.
Okay. Did anyone, I guess we can go through if anybody has anything to add or comment on. Commissioner Yank?
No, it sounds great. I love the projects that have been selected and really excited about those.
Thank you. Commissioner Vire?
Just fun to see those coming to fruition. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Vidor?
Yeah, a couple questions. One, on the revision to the skate park, I noticed it was a very beautiful overhead view. Is the design visible from eye level as well? And so that's my first question. Then I have a question about Beyond the Box. So if someone wants to answer the first question, then I'll ask the next one.
In regards to eye level, do you mean a more detailed version? Like, do you want to see the actual detail of the skate park? Or I'm sorry.
No, I could see the detail quite well. But that looked like an aerial view of the art. And my question was, is the art viewable from the surface of the street? Can people actually see it, or would they have to be on top of it looking down on it?
Got it. I believe it is viewable from the street, but I can clarify with the artist and make sure that it's accessible. I would assume that skaters or people who are just attending the park will be able to view the artwork, but I can clarify that with the artist as well.
I mean, it's probably much more easily viewed than it was when it was in the actual skating, because you can't see that from street view because it's in the dip. So
yeah.
Okay, and what was your second question?
And then my second question related to Beyond the Box. I'm sorry, I don't have the details right in front of me of the call, but we had talked about trying to solicit some unusual or unconventional ways of painting boxes, such as making them interactive or using techniques like trompe-l'oeil, and I wondered if any of that verbiage was added to the call.
Yeah, I did reach out to Ricardo Cerezo, who was an artist, a muralist who had come and done a proposal in front of the commission, to follow up with him on his idea of using apps and augmented reality as far as another layer in which to engage with the Beyond the Box program. Unfortunately, due to COVID, he hasn't been able to move that project forward, and we weren't able to find in tandem the right verbiage to include for this call. But of course, moving forward in the future and for future Beyond the Box calls, I will continue to keep in touch with him. I can also research potential options for ways in which to engage with the Beyond the Box program on a different level than what we've had before. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to include it in the call because his technology and his proposal was not ready.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it would be great if we could get it into, say, one of the future calls.
Absolutely.
Okay, and thank you for your questions. So my only question is, I know we've brought this up now multiple times, and I know it came up at a city council meeting But where are we on the actual mural program where it's not just the box, but actually beyond the box and actual wall space? I know that the intern that we had recently, or sorry, not intern, she was a apprentice.
Yeah.
She was an apprentice. She was going to be working on finding different locations and tagging different public areas that we could either be providing murals or temporary art installations. So I wanted to get an update and see where we were on wall murals specifically.
So the apprentice, her project was focusing on the Glendale Public Art Map. That was a big enough project for her, so she didn't have time to pursue this. We do have an internship that's open, an undergraduate internship that was just released on Monday, and we can make sure that that's part of that intern scope of work, but unfortunately, Loreto wasn't able to fulfill that
Okay.
part of her.
But do we have anybody on staff or from not economic development, but I guess community? I'm not sure who would be urban planning, whatever it might be, that's helping us kind of find those locations of public walls that are usable.
I can circle back. Director Schaefer, do you have anything to?
Yeah, I was just gonna, I guess, under neighborhood arts, because we are right now in the work plan progress. So I'll address, some of you are aware of very good news. Council has requested a report from staff, so we will be working with community development on a report on murals for the city. So, thank you to the stars and those that helped move that along. I think some of you, I know we had talked about talking to your council members, so I think that happened. So we will be moving forward with that, and I think that's a very exciting development for arts in Glendale. So that will be coming within the next month or so. So I think that's really one of the first things that has to happen is so that we can move forward with murals.
So was it that the council had to bring it forward, or was it that we weren't allowed to? Because we stated it multiple times, and I guess now it's going to move forward because council, how does that work exactly?
So are you specifically speaking to doing an inventory of walls in the city of Glendale?
And getting a mural program started.
Yeah, so the first step is getting a mural ordinance going.
Okay.
So that's what we're working towards. And then, it's just, it comes in steps, but we will be working towards that. And I think it's very exciting development based on where we were about, a year ago on this topic.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. Then I don't have any further comments or questions, so we can go ahead and move forward to the next item.
Do we have commission staff comments? Was that part of, okay. So we can go to C, written communications, which you don't have any.
No, we did have commission comments.
Okay, okay. So we can go to, 6B, commission staff comments.
6B or 7? 7's commission staff comments.
I'm sorry, my thing is missing.
It's okay, it
Yes,
looks different.
7B, yes.
It's okay, so we can move on to commission staff comments. Commissioner Yank, I'm gonna leave you for the end, just because. Commissioner Vier, did you have any comments?
Just want to welcome Commissioner Yank to the fold.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Vidor?
Yeah, I have a couple comments. One is a possible agenda item, so I'll start with that one. But first of all, I also want to say to Commissioner Yank, great to have you with us, and look forward to working with you. So the first one is, quite a while ago, we had some talks about seeing something on the agenda about working with the Public Works Department so that we could incorporate some artistic and unusual permanent features into our public utilities, like, benches and bus stops and all the things that can be creative but often end up not being creative. And I know that there was a change in command at the time we talked about this in the Public Works Department, and a lot of things were going on. So one of the things that came up recently in an informal discussion was especially the issue of electrifying certain areas and providing power to certain areas of the city where we envision having light-focused exhibits. And so I just thought it might be a good idea to think about when we could reintroduce this discussion. So that was the one thing. And then the second thing was, I just wanted to comment and compliment the city staff, and I know Director Schaefer and a number of people were involved in the panel discussion that took place in July on racism. I attended. I thought thought it was really fantastic. It was very inspiring. I particularly loved Sophia Noble and Hannibal Johnson's insights and the things they talked about, which really were very thought-provoking. And I wondered if it would be possible for, since the Commission and Library Arts and Culture is sponsoring a lot of this, one thing is, could we somehow brand or have a name identity for it? I know, it's hard to think of, like, would you say Truth and Reconciliation or something? So if there, pardon? Was somebody asked? Oh, okay. I thought somebody was going to say something. No, I just thought maybe we could come up with something like Glendale Truth to Reconcile or something like that as a brand name for this year-long process. And then on the same topic, I loved the discussions, and I thought there were two panels that would be, and these panels may already be in the planning stages, but one of them was to have a panel focused entirely on the City of Glendale's issues and how we move forward to address and reconcile those issues, our past, our racist past, and a lot of the things that people are talking about. The second one was that since we are going to have a call in February for Black History Month, it's going to be, an artist's call, that possibly we could convene a panel discussion during that month that's related to the arts specifically, because obviously public art is a very critical component of the overall conversation that we're having as a nation about race, equity, and bringing people together. And, we have some leading people in Los Angeles. Mark Bradford is the one that comes to mind. He's probably the most famous Black artist working in the world today. And then there are others like Nick Cave, and, I don't know them all. I just know a few. But if we could convene an arts-focused panel, maybe we could use some of that $15,000 we've defrayed to make a panel discussion specifically on that. So, but that's my comments.
Okay.
And could I just address that excellent suggestion on kind of the branding? So we will get staff working on that as soon as possible. Excellent suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the others were excellent as well, so we'll take all those into consideration.
Thank you. Commissioner Yank, I guess you can go ahead if you have any comments.
Sure. Well, thank you all so much for your warm welcome. I've been an arts administrator and educator working in LA County for over 15 years, and I'm just delighted to be able to support the arts in my home city, which is what I've been wanting to find an opportunity to do. And so I'm just very, very honored to have this opportunity and to be working with the great people. And I'm very excited about the future of the arts in Glendale. So thank you all.
Thank you. Then I will go ahead and state, I'm very happy to have you on board. I don't know if this has ever happened, but it's an all-female commission at this moment, and I love that. I do think that you fit right in. It doesn't even seem like this is your first commission meeting. You've done this before, and I'm very happy to have you on board. I mean, I saw your resume, and all I could think is, wow, I'm so excited to work with her. I think we're very lucky to have you on board, and I'm very much looking forward to see what we're going to be doing together and using your expertise and your experiences in the arts. And so I'm welcome on board. I do want to also comment, so Arlene's comments, or Commissioner Vidor's, on the public works, I do second that, and I do want to add that on the agenda. I just was not sure what you meant by brand name. What were you referring to when you were discussing having a brand name?
Well, not a brand name like Jell-O or Kleenex, but more like a brand, some identity, some kind of a tagline or name to brand the effort we're taking, which is a pretty big effort to discuss social justice in general, but Black Lives Matter and the impact of Glendale on this, nationally and internationally relevant issue, and also the things that we know Glendale has been involved in. It's a big undertaking, and it seems like, I just thought of, not an example that we want to emulate, obviously, but when South Africa abolished apartheid, they called their process Truth and Reconciliation, which had a very resonant ring to it. It was just a description of what they were trying to do to get beyond that period in their history. And, I thought we could have something similar, and we might even want to key off of that and call it like Glendale's Truth to Reconcile or something.
So my only thing is, what would that have to do with the arts specifically? Are you referring to having a committee or some sort of group, and that be the name? What is it? What is the context?
No, it would refer. This refers to the whole process. There's a year-long city process which includes art, which includes panel discussions, which includes a number of things. And I'm sure Director Schaefer could probably elaborate better than me, but it has to do with the whole year-long effort that we are now undertaking in library arts and culture to address this issue, okay? So our art's in there, but, we're also involved in supporting the panel discussions, and I think, that might tie the whole city together.
So it's kind of the name of a series we're going to be having.
It's not really a series, it's just the whole program,
Okay. So then maybe we can go ahead and defer to Director Schaefer and Jennifer for a recommendation at the next meeting as to maybe what we can do with that and names.
So that's something that, we will be launching our series. We'll be coming back to you. The first one doesn't come until after our next arts and culture meeting, so we can share it at the next meeting, but it's something we need to work on. Commissioner Vidor brings up a great point to kind of wrap all of it together just to help with the marketing of it. We want people to get engaged with it, and so kind of tying the whole year into a name, if you will. So we will start working on that soon and can share that and we'll work broadly with staff here that are going to be working on it and share that with you at the next meeting. So thank you.
Okay, and I also do want to piggyback off of the Black panel on arts. I do agree with that, and I would very much look forward to it. I kind of thought that was already included, that we'd be doing some sort of discussion or panel with the library for February for Black History Month. So I do agree with Commissioner Vidor in that it should be on arts specifically, and that the entire panel be Black Americans, so we can hear their opinions, their experiences, and their view on art. Other than that, I do not have any other comments. I do want to open it up to obviously staff. I realize I don't do that. I kind of go through each commissioner and I never ask you guys to make comments. So if either of you would like to make a comment, or Mike, I know you're still on the line somewhere. If any of you have comments, if not, we can go ahead and move forward.
I think I'm good.
I've already welcomed her, but I'd like to do it publicly and welcome Sue Bell Yank to the commission. Very excited to have her here and to work with her, and very excited to have an all-female commission.
Yay. Okay, thank you. Then we can go ahead and move on to our next item.
Agenda item 8, written communications, we don't have any, and then now we have 9, adjournment.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you everybody for joining in. Please stay safe and healthy.